Hi, how you doing today? Forts. Let's talk about forts. Do you remember, right, when you were a child, and building forts and how much fun it was? Not just in building the actual fort itself, but what it actually really meant to you, right? Like that space to call your own, where nobody was allowed in unless either they had a secret password or they had permission to go into the fort, right? It was designed to give you a place to hide, right? If you wanted to be in a dark area or a place where you just wanted to be silent and collect your thoughts, a sense of ownership and freedom, and that safe spot, the club, designing that club. I remember as a child, there was a group of us. We used to call ourselves the Mod Squad. It was after a TV show, and honestly, I'm really aging myself right now, but it was about building a fort, and we built a fort together with in the bush with logs and brush and other people's junk that we actually thought was treasure, and added to the ambiance of the fort that we actually really wanted to create. We all had a role in building the fort, that we wanted to do. There was no one person idea. It was all about working together and compromising. There was lots of arguments on the way in which we wanted to build these forts, or what we wanted to add or not add. And we were all also responsible for acquiring food from our own homes to keep us fed while we were in our forts. Now, of course, some of that food got eaten by animals at night, but we actually really came up with some creative solutions to make sure that the food was safe. We also decided as a group that the animals that were at night were there to keep our place safe, our fort safe. So it was really important for us to leave at least a little thank you snack for them. Fort building, it brings back so many awesome memories and experiences. When my oldest, when she was younger, we built forts with whatever material we could find around the house. It was like pillows, old sheets, cardboard, wood. We used the space inside the house, and we also used the space outside the house. And these were her hideaway spaces. And there was times where I was allowed in, and there were times where I wasn't allowed in. It was her space. When we look at that time, when we reflect back, it was funny too, is that it was like almost every weekend we took over the living room, and we have this massive camping, because I love camping. So there was this massive camping, there was a massive tent that we put up in the living room, and we had our sleeping bags on the floor, and we spent the weekend camping in the middle of our living room. David Sobel has written a book called Children's Special Places, Exploring the Roles of Forts, Dens, and Bush Houses in Middle Childhood. And he talks about how forts help children explore where they actually fit within the natural environment, within nature itself, and how all the pieces of their life really fit together. Fort building in any size with any type of materials really builds a child's sense of independence and confidence and problem solving. It's like, oh my goodness, how do we keep this roof up, or even how do we keep the sides up without them falling and caving in on us? So lots of creativity and negotiation and learning about the natural environment, but also learning about how we fit within that environment, inside and outside. There are some articles attached that really speak to the idea of fort building in those hideaway spaces. And I actually even saw just recently a global news story that was talking about a family, and I think in the Lakefield area, who together they built an ice hut or an ice fort outside with their children. So, the next time that you see your child pulling their blankets over the table, chair, or pulling the cushions from the couch down, take a minute and a deep breath. Watch and see what they're actually creating. And ask yourself, hey, how can I support my child in exploring their hideaway spaces? And you know what? You never know. You might just enjoy it as well. I want to thank you for allowing me to take a moment of your time, and I wish you happy fort building. Take care. Bye-bye.